Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. Daps.
I'm Katie.
And we're so excited that you're here on the first night, well, Geeks Corner night of Halloween of 2024. the longest Halloween season we've seen to date here in
On
the corner.
the first day of Halloween, my true love gave to me one penguin ghost puppet.
There you go. What should people do, Katie?
You should go into the chat.
That's where you should go.
That is what you should do. This is kind of becoming the
Join the
ongoing
conversation.
joke that I don't know what to say here. The other one I've got nailed. This one, hi, welcome. How are you? Go into the chat. Tell us what we were talking about earlier.
Favorite Disney villain you'd like to see at Oogie
Oh.
Boogie Bash? Of any of them, not that are already there, like any of them.
You've heard my rant. Do they want this rant?
No, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, if they don't want it, it's fine. What's your pick?
I thought you were gonna do your rant first.
No, what's your pick? You said they don't want to hear it. What's your pick?
Mine are already there most of the time though. Like I'm old school. I like Maleficent.
Yeah.
I like Evil Queen. Like I'm pretty easy.
They're
to
not meeting
please.
though.
No, but I like them back.
Yeah. What about? I'm trying to think of like a Captain Hook's there. I was trying to think of like older Disney movies and their villains.
Lady Tremaine would be cool.
Yeah, I feel like Lady Tremaine's been there in the past too, with the stepsisters.
I think a while ago,
at the
like
fountain,
years ago. Yeah, at the fountain.
Yeah. I don't know.
So who would you like to pick?
There's a very interesting
Face character hat guy.
No.
No, okay.
There's a very interesting case to be made for face character Ursula.
I actually had that one thought, and I was like, do I like that idea or not?
Oh, it's horrifying.
It is. It is a little bit.
Absolutely horrifying.
Like, that might be one of the most effective Disney villains you could bring and terrify people with.
She's just in a fish tank.
I mean, you could also extend the question and really go into more live action movies and stuff too, and that could get really interesting too, especially when you consider all of the properties, whether it's Disney, 20th Century, Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar. Like there's a lot of possibilities.
It's Encanto, but the villain is the casita.
Darth Vader, Hollywood backlot stage.
That'd be good.
That'd be pretty cool.
Casita is a villain that was terrifying because that house could just eat you.
Yeah.
Just,
it'd be Clocky says Master Control program. Itzy says Hades, but Descendants Hades, which I've heard of quite a few people.
We're hopeful.
Yes. Sue Sylvester, very good choice. Darth Jar Jar would be amazing. I'm liking this.
They're robbing
Chef
us.
from Ratatouille. The villain from Halloween Town, good call. Frollo a la Hades this year at Oogie Boogie Bash. Hades, we will talk about in a little bit.
Scary. So spooky.
I mean,
I can't do that
the one problem I'm seeing with this is if we were to say Master Control program, they might just be like, well, we could.
Is it a Tron thing?
Yeah.
Got it.
We could update this with Tron Ares coming out, and we could have Ares.
Tron
that
Air 3s.
Sure.
My genius is unappreciated on this show.
I'm sorry.
You're not.
So yes, anyway, Halloween has started at the Disneyland Resort. It also is almost starting at Knott's Berry Farm. We covered a Knott's Scary Farm event this week, but we're going to get into Halloween time first, which began on Friday, and it was the 23rd, I believe, of August. And it was a nice warm day to go to Disneyland dressed in your Halloween bow tie. And they have the return of the Mickey and Friends Halloween Cavalcade with their new costumes, because Mickey and Friends have their new costumes. You have Haunted Mansion Holiday, which returned a little bit before Halloween time. You have the Plaza de la Familia stuff, which we'll cover more next week because there's going to be more about that happening. There's a ton of foods. There are, Monsters After Dark.
Monsters!
Exactly.
After Dark.
And Halloween Screams. Did I hit all the big things? I think I did. What is your favorite thing? Oh, and like Dapper Dans and groups are also doing Halloween music. What's your favorite part about Halloween time at the Disneyland Resort?
The Great Hall and the Grand Californian.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
I think that is my personal favorite thing. Last year, I'm still a little miffed because last year we could not find the 13th hidden Mickey. We could only find 12.
About that.
And to this day, I'll never know where it is. There's 13 hidden Mickeys again this year. I almost don't want to look because
Oh, we're going to look.
we're going to look.
We're going to look.
And we're going to stand there and we're going to circle it from both angles. And you're going to be like, what are those two grown adults doing looking at that?
Oh, they know because we're not the only ones that do
No,
this.
it's just funny.
It happens.
It's just funny. And if we find 13 of them, we will make an article. But
and then we'll never go back.
If we
because like, done, run.
But if we don't find 13 of them, you'll never hear about this again.
True. If it doesn't come up for the rest of the Halloween season, you're going to know why.
Yeah, you'll know what happened.
Unless you found all 13, let us know, and then we'll use you to help us find them all. Like, you can point them out to us so that we can do a...
Gotta catch 'em all.
Yeah. I really like the Mickey and Friends Halloween Cavalcade.
It's so cute.
I think it's super cute. It's very catchy.
Well, and it's the music from... Because this is Disney's Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it's from.
I assumed Tokyo Disneyland.
It sounds very
It has that, but I don't know for sure. Like, I think I looked it up last year and I'm forgetting now. But
it's a good song.
But no, you get a ton of characters there. We documented all the characters you saw on the opening day, but there's a ton of Disney villains, which also you can find in the parks after the cavalcade, which is kind of cool. And
my favorite is the heroes, but they're all carrying little trick-or-treat buckets.
Yes, and then you got the villains that are being villains.
Okay. They also have trick-or-treat buckets, but I don't think they're getting any candy. I think they're only getting tricks.
This is the easiest way to see Mickey and the gang in their new Halloween costumes without waiting for a long time. You can literally walk up as the music starts. It's going to go right by you. You will see all of the characters that are there that day. They'll all be in their new costumes, and it makes life so much easier than trying to wait in the line, unless you really want to get the picture with Mickey or whoever. But like, those lines get long so fast.
True.
Like,
especially
we walked
Halloween
in
time.
Morning, and it was already like Mickey was like quadrupled back and forth in the line, and like it's intense.
And he's really darn cute, so I get it.
With his overalls, they're great.
They're really cute.
There's also foods. There's merchandise that glows in the dark that you're gonna love. I'm sure the Mickey pumpkins are gonna sell out. They also glow. There's lots of glowing things in the merchandise this year. Now that I think about it,
Halloween needs more glow in the dark things.
Exactly, both for safety and for fun. For trick or treat.
That was no. I was just saying, like, that was such a dad thing to say.
Oh,
like you're the dad that makes the kids wear a reflective vest over their Halloween costume. I know, but I'm saying that's what
work it into the costume.
Dad, I don't want to be a construction worker again. Come on, little Timmy. Put on the vest.
Why is there tape on my hat? It was broken.
I wanted to be Mario.
Anyway, yes. The cavalcade is the way to see all of them as easy as it possibly can. Yeah, I think that's good, right? Oh, and Halloween Screams returned. We talked a little bit about that, but we watched it on Friday night for the opening night, and I love the music for that show. Actually would like to see it maybe updated a little bit or enhanced. That's the word. I want it enhanced because I would like to see more happening with the projections both on the castle and on Main Street USA, because the fireworks are a lot of fun. The music's good. You're not a huge fan of it, but that's okay. We can agree to disagree.
You guys are going to hear, like, it's always the last 4 months of the year. You guys are always going to hear the exact same arguments. Ship of Theseus. How much are you going to replace before the show is entirely different? Halloween Screams. I think it just needs to be a new show. I think you update too much of it, and then it's not Halloween Screams anymore. I think it just needs to be a new show. The show's running for what, 20 years?
No, like 12.
$2009, no, was the first year of it?
Maybe it was 2000.
15 years.
Let's see. I don't remember.
But I say the same thing every single year for Christmas Fantasy Parade. A parade
it was
that is
2009. So was that 15 years? That's still, at that point, you're starting to get into a troublesome run of...
I also think a Christmas Fantasy is, like, there should not be a parade at Disneyland that is older than me, that is still operating. And that... Okay, Main Street Electrical Parade. Leave that out of it.
Literally where my brain went. I was like, oh,
you know what? She's not operating anywhere right now, is she?
But she's never gone for good.
She's never gone for good.
Exactly.
I have one of those
the light bulbs.
The light bulbs.
Good job.
And I'm very afraid that she might do like a regeneration from that light bulb. Like one day I might wake up and there might be Main Street Electrical Parade in my bedroom.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Yeah.
is they just go to somebody's house and like, hey, can I borrow your light bulb? And then the whole parade just pops up.
Yeah, that's what I'm scared of. But I think a Christmas Fantasy, I also think a Christmas Fantasy has changed so much that I don't entirely know you could even call it the same parade besides the music.
But that's what I like about it, though, is because that is a parade that has changed a ton through the years. And I think that's the right way to do it. And that's actually what I would do with Halloween Screams, too, is these things can grow and evolve, and then they never get stagnant, just like the parks. Whereas if it was the same parade from day one for Christmas Fantasy, I think it would be pretty easy for us to be like, all right, we need something new. But the fact that we keep getting new things and changes each year.
The thing that you can argue for Christmas Fantasy is that there is a central theme. So even though things change, the central theme of a Christmas Fantasy, the musical theme, I'm sure you're thinking it right now, that exists. Anyway, Halloween Screams doesn't have that. There is no remember the moment.
That's true.
Like there's no
it's because it's just it's the Nightmare Before Christmas overture.
But it's not this is the song of this fireworks show. It's literally like
this is Halloween, it's the song of that fireworks. Like that's what it builds to.
But usually whatever the song is the playoff song for Pyro. This is I Put a Spell on You, which is also not in the show.
I think it's okay.
I think it's okay too. I'm just saying.
I mean,
that you can't make like a Christmas Fantasy is similar in the fact that it is an older entertainment offering, but it is not similar in the fact that a Christmas Fantasy at least has one uniting theme. That's you're like, oh, this is still a Christmas Fantasy. If you're like, oh, you could swap out this section, this section, this section, I'm like, well, then it's not even Halloween Screams anymore.
As long as you did the Scream part, I think it is.
No, that's the part that needs to go specifically.
Oh, I think that part's hilarious. I like every year I'm like, all right, nobody's gonna scream this year, and then people scream, and I'm like, wow, they really get into this part.
That's the part specifically. That
honestly, Halloween Screams is super easy because it's just a celebration of villains, and you scream at the end. So you can do whatever the heck you want with that, as long as musically it works, because the theme is so loose. Like it's an easy theme to stick with, and I think you could add some new music and movies in, and new fireworks and projections, and you'd be good to go. Or you can come up with a completely new one too. I just think for how popular everything is this time of year anyway, you don't need to, and you're not going to spend the money on something that's bringing people in and probably has a pretty high satisfaction rate anyway. So I'm being a little bit realistic, or pragmatic is probably a better word, of just like, I don't think they're going to give us a new Halloween show because they don't need to. Like that's the hard part.
I get it, but also.
Yes, people scream at this. It's at the end. Jack Skellington says, everybody scream, and everybody screams. It's pretty funny. All right, we're going to keep moving.
You're trying to wake the dead, and they do.
So good. It's great. Let's move on to something else. Not Scary Farm. Not Scary Farm had its preview event on Thursday night. We were invited to that. We have the entire rundown of what's going on at Not Scary Farm up on the website if you want to read through it all. But in short, there are 10 mazes this year, 2 of which are brand new, and I think 3 are going away.
3 are in its final year.
Yeah. And there are 5 scare zones.
Mm-hmm.
There are
nothing new there.
3 entertainment offerings, 3 shows.
Something kind of new there.
Something kind of new but old.
Something borrowed, something blue.
There's no blue there. It's all black. And then what am I forgetting? I mean, that's
it was entertainment, mazes, scare zones, and then it was merchandise.
And then there's merchandise, and there's food also, but we're not going to get into as much of that because there's just too much to go into. Mm-hmm. The 2 new mazes are terrifying.
Yes. 8 Fingers 9. The
8 Fingers 9, terrifying.
Mm-hmm. Sleep paralysis.
Yes.
Scary.
The other one is Widows, which I interviewed. I interviewed the guy who created this one, and it literally came. I'm going to tell this part because this is Geeks Corner appropriate. He wrote the story for this maze as he was walking his little dog, which looks a lot like little Wendy, who has been on Geeks Corner before, and he would walk through spider webs, and it always freaked him out. And so he was like, I'm going to take that and then couple it with another fear is basically being alone in an old person home. and make it into a scare zone or to a maze.
Mhm.
And he did, and it looks terrifying. And he flat out said, people at Knott say that looks awesome. I don't think I want to go in it.
Mhm.
I agree. The funny part is, you talk to this guy.
Mhm.
He's the nicest, sweetest, quietest guy you'll ever meet.
Mhm.
And you'd never imagine such horrific things could come out of his mind. But I think those are going to be very popular this year. We will see. There's also a new show that's kind of not a new show, but it's a best of Elvira.
Yours truly, Elvira, The Experience.
Yes. And it's basically going to be looks like kind of like a montage of the last however many
clip
years.
show.
Yeah, it's a clip show. But there's 3 nights that she'll be on hand.
September 19th,
Good job.
October 18th, October 20th.
Yeah, I think that's what I remembered. And on the 18th and 20th, she's going to be doing a Q&A. And I think all 3 nights you can buy merchandise and she'll sign it.
Yes, because every night's a merchandise signing. Every night's a Q&A. 2 nights are a merchandise signing, I think.
I thought it was the other way around.
I don't know. I'm not positive.
We've got the information up on the website. So it is in the video for sure.
And Waxworks going away. Something else going away. Bloodlines.
I couldn't remember.
Going
so I was
away.
gonna skip that.
It's okay. That's what I'm here for.
What's
It's
the third
Waxworks and Bloodlines for sure.
Okay. Well.
Oh, Mesmer.
There we go.
It's also Mesmer's last year.
There you go. The Hanging will also be returning this year, and as will the Magic Show in Ghost Town.
But it's not going to be the same Magic Show it was last year.
It's just they said it's just a magician.
Yeah, they said this year it's like a very.
It looks like sleight of hand and fun stuff. Like it's probably worth checking out.
Which I loved the really campy magician last year.
We will most likely be there opening night to check this thing out and cover it as much as we can, and we'll let you know what we think after September 19th, which I'm sure will be a blast. Speaking of blasts, we're not going to do that yet. I was thinking Oogie Boogie Bash, but we have a much more important thing.
We do.
We have an indie cam. So let's watch Indy play with a ball. Kind of.
Believe it or not, that's not a loop.
That was literally him just following my hand. And I guess it was the fuzzy thing going up and down.
Yeah, his little monster.
Yeah, I was thinking I was doing it with the ball, but it was that.
That was last week.
And I was just going like this. Well, I filmed them at the same time. They're within minutes of each other. But
they were what?
Within minutes of each other. I know, shocking. Anyway, that's Indy. Oogie Boogie Bash. First night was on Sunday. Second night is tonight. Some people are there right now, and we got some new things this year at Oogie Boogie Bash. Primarily Hades and Dr. Doofenshmirtz. But they weren't just Hades and Dr. Doofenshmirtz. They were face characters. Hades and Dr. Doofenshmirtz. And I guess we'll start with Dr. Doofenshmirtz because that's where we started our night. He's got the whatever nader that thing is that he's spraying.
Smellinator.
It's the smellinator. Yep. He's a face character. He's walking around. He's talking around. He's being devious. He's blaming Perry or cursing Perry for things.
I love him. Like, this is the type of Disney villain I love. I love
The inept
a
villain.
bumbling idiot
Yeah.
who's not a threat to anybody. And like Dr. Doofenshmirtz, he's just trying to be a good dad. He got a divorce. Like he fights with his ex-wife. Like he's like, oh no, my ex-wife is caught. Like he's just a guy who wants to impress his daughter.
Mhm.
Like his teenage daughter who's like way too cool and like wears all black and she's like, whatever, dad. Like I love Dr. Doofenshmirtz because he's just a bumbling ding dong.
You know who this makes me wish we'd see at the Oogie Boogie? We
Who?
saw him at Villains Night. Doc Terminus from Pete's Dragon.
Where if I hear Villains Night one more time?
Sorry.
It's okay.
It's a good video though.
I know that's I feel like every time it's
I want
miss
that
Villains
show. I want that show back for.
I've never seen Pete's Dragon.
All right, we're gonna watch it. It'll be good. No, so then no, I thought Doofenshmirtz was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Like as good as you can get bringing the animated version into the parks, like, and especially being able to talk and walk and interact like that.
Well, and that's the rant that nobody wanted to hear earlier is I don't necessarily have a lot of interest in Disney villains because I don't love malicious intent. I don't like that it's like, oh, I'm going to go
okay.
out and hurt this person.
Okay.
I don't like that Ursula is like, oh, I only want to do like awful things to Ariel, whatever. Like to whatever. I do love Doofenshmirtz because his plans are just like, I want everyone in the tri-state area to dance. Like, it's so... None of it's like...
He's almost like a villain version of Pinky in the Brain.
Kind of, yeah.
But he's both of them.
And like, he hates Perry the Platypus, but they have an entire song together about how they miss each other when they don't have each other to bust their schemes.
It is super cute.
I love Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
I agree.
I hope that he stays around for the party for a very long time because he's so much fun.
And Phineas and Ferb in general is just amazing. And
I agree.
Like I think it's one of the best shows that Disney Channel's done.
I will say, with all of this, I will address the elephant in the room. I was definitely put off when I first saw pictures. I was like, oh, that's a person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like it's jarring.
You need the full experience.
But then you like do it and you see videos and you listen to Dr. Doof and you're like, oh, I couldn't imagine this any other way. Like it's really fun.
Yeah. And having seen the sculpted character too, like
I think the
face is so much better.
Like
the sculpted might look more like the cartoon a little bit, but this is so much funnier. Yeah. Hades. So Hades glows blue most of the time, just like he does in Hercules. Mm-hmm. And we're going to get a lot of Hercules in the next couple years. I think this is brilliant because we'll get into what he does in a second. Mm-hmm. But you think of it, we have him this year. Then he's coming, is it next year to the Disney Cruise Line? Mm-hmm. Also to the West End in Hercules. Mm-hmm. Like there's a lot of Hercules and they've got the live action film coming out. Like this
Honey, I think you mean Huncules.
There you go. But this is all about Hades. And when Hades gets too riled up about Hercules, mm-hmm. he blows his top and flames.
He turns red.
Literally come alive, and he turns red, as does all of the flames around him in the whole area. And it is amazing watching him lose his temper. And
I was scared.
It was very funny.
It was actually a little.
I was trying to egg him on.
Well, you were, and that's why I was getting scared because I get scared when people yell. It's just a thing that I do. And he started yelling and it was in my direction. And I was like, oh no.
He asked the question. The answer could have been Hercules. So I said the answer was Hercules. It didn't work though. He didn't.
It was actually very funny because it was you and another person who was not with us.
Down at the other end, right?
Yeah. Like it almost felt coordinated. Like they were asking about Hercules, you were asking about Hercules, and he goes, "I do so much for you mortals, and all you ask about is Hercules." And he starts yelling.
And then the thing I realized going back that I don't think worked as well as they were hoping it would, is he's also trying to get everybody watching to yell Hercules. Mm-hmm. To set him off. Like there's clearly this supposed to be call and response. At least that's what it looked like when I was watching our video again in hindsight. And I didn't realize that's what he was saying down at the other end because I was just kind of watching it all play out. But it looks like he's trying to get people to say Hercules so it can like escalate it or something.
I also think that there is a
Yeah, there's a queue.
A queue.
Yes, but I think there was supposed to also be a interactive element for that
And I really liked
our group did maybe not do so well.
Cruella.
Cruella was amazing.
I loved Cruella, but I think this is a very worthy replacement.
So I think for the space, this is better.
Yeah.
I think Cruella could go in a different space
Oh, yeah.
and be equally great, if not better. And there's quite a few different spots throughout the parks that you could put her. But like this was using those screens and all of that. I thought it was such a solid use of that space. Same for Dr. Doofenshmirtz. Like they were able to transform, like we just watched Mickey's Trick and Treat. Oh, that's also at Halloween time now. It's during the day, not at Oogie Boogie Bash, to make room for him. But like literally they're doing the other show during the day and then they flip it over to his evil lair by night. And that was great. There was also, well, Judge Doom came back. Ernesto de la Cruz came back.
I feel like Ernesto has to come back.
Madame Mim came back, which is just a highlight.
God, I love Madame Mim.
She is amazing.
Sid came back.
Sid was back. Who am I forgetting?
Lotso was there.
A lot. But Lotso's not a
no,
treat
he's not
trail.
a
I'm
treat
thinking
trail.
treat trails
Yeah,
first.
Sure.
So
it's Sid. It was Bruno's not a treat trail.
No.
So
Sid was a treat trail.
Yeah.
Mim's a
Hades
treat trail. Haiti.
Mim's a treat trail.
Doofenshmirtz is a treat trail.
Doofenshmirtz was a treat
Do we
trail.
say Ernesto? That's 5.
Ernesto's a treat trail.
Judge Doom is a
Judge
treat
Doom's a
trail. We're
treat
forgetting
trail.
3.
Yokai.
Oh, Yokai.
Mhm.
Agatha Harkness, who has a new
Agatha.
costume this year that I thought was great. And we're forgetting someone. Maybe you'll let us know in the chat.
I don't know who we're forgetting.
I'm pretty sure there was 9.
But speaking of treat trails.
Do you want to know? Guess in the comments.
Yeah.
How much candy between the two of us we accumulated. We have measured it.
The weight.
We will in Geeks Corner Plus share how many.
All will be revealed in Geeks Corner Plus.
How much candy we got. Tell us in pounds. That would be good. And we will round it to the nearest pound-ish.
Not kilograms.
No, that'd be way too hard.
What the kilometer?
They also brought back the Frightfully Fun Parade.
Yeah.
Always a lot of fun. They also had the Villains Grove, which I thought this year looked better than even previous. Like, I feel like every year they tweak it just a little bit and it looks slightly better one way or another.
Yeah.
And I just thought they nailed things this year, and it was really fantastic. They had the projections on Carthay Circle restaurant, which are gorgeous. And
Oogie Boogie.
Oogie Boogie, of course.
It's his party. How do we forget that he's the treat trail?
That's how. That's even what I wrote in the article. I was like, and you couldn't have an Oogie Boogie Bash without Oogie Boogie.
That's what I'm here for.
Exactly.
I remembered the Oogie Boogie.
Good job. It was right in front of our faces.
It was so funny because you said Carthay Circle projections, and one of my favorite things on the Carthay Circle projections is the skeletons that are like chained up to the Oogie Boogie layer, and they're like looking around. And then I was like, oh yes, I do love the Oogie Boogie Oogie Boogie! Like,
that is one of them.
Because also, speaking of spaces that get transformed, the animation building gets transformed, and there's the skeletons on the wall, and there's
it's his
the
lair.
rolling of the dice, and there's the slot machines, and like, it's very fun. So
the good thing is, it felt like, at least opening night, and I feel like that's usually a crazy one.
Sure.
Is there were no lines that were completely terrible. Like everything was moving along. You didn't see the one where people just seemed stuck at, like we've seen in previous years. So kudos to Disney for whatever you did this year, because it really did keep things moving, and you could do a lot very easily. Like we hit all of the treat trails and had time to spare.
What I want to give a huge shout out for, and I really wish there was more of these, but I understand the space is an issue. Hades has a designated area.
Yes.
If you just want to stand there. And like, once you get to the front of the line, it is not something that you could just walk up and do. You do have to wait in the line, wait in the treat trail, get up. But if you just want to hang out.
And so did Ernesto de la Cruz.
Yeah. And so did Ernesto.
Those are the only 2, but I wish they did that for almost all of them.
Phenomenal, because there's so many characters that I just want to sit there and be like.
And sometimes they do push you along a little bit. Like sometimes they don't. I thought on Sunday they were pretty good about not. Like I think I got pushed forward once, and the rest of the night it was pretty
There's a picture of me
doable. Welcome to Geeks Corner Plus, by the way.
somewhere that I know you have,
Mhm.
and our friend Denise has,
Mhm.
of me sitting with Madame Mim, just
Mhm.
looking like this, because it was one of those things where I was like, I just want to sit here and just listen to you forever because you're so much fun.
All right, so we have a couple guesses for how much candy. We'll give you a couple seconds more to add more guesses for how much candy we brought home. What did I miss?
Agatha.
We talked about her. She has a new look.
Yeah, it's not that exciting. I think she basically looks.
I thought it looked. If I didn't know it was new, I mean, I probably would have, just because I've taken enough pictures of her through the years.
I
thought
only
it was
knew
cool.
for one reason, and that was the hair.
The hair was different. The costume was slightly different. Things like that. We've got a guess for 4 pounds, 2 pounds, and 10 pounds. We will be playing by Price is Right rules. What? Give a couple more seconds for anybody else that wants to guess.
We will give until 9:02.
9:02, like in what, 15 seconds? What is that?
Know, probably.
Yeah. But overall, Oogie Boogie Bash is once again proving that it is the best after dark event that Disneyland does. And
for sure,
I feel like most of the Disneyland After Dark this year were really good. And this one was by far the best.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I also liked is they continued the trend of giving magic key holders the patches.
Yeah.
So for everyone we've done this year, we went to the Magic Key Center, wherever it was in each park, and you get a little patch. And I wasn't sure what we get for this, because technically this isn't in the Disneyland After Dark branding.
Yeah.
And so I was like, maybe we won't get this, but we did. And,
I love it.
And it's Hades, appropriately enough, because it was either him or going to be Doofenshmirtz, I feel like.
Doofenshmirtz.
And that would have been a hard patch to make yay big.
It's true.
All right, it is 9:02. We do have a winner for who guessed closest to how many pounds we had without going over. Unfortunately, that was the game changer. We brought in 9.4 pounds of candy.
It's true.
Without trying.
Yeah.
And with skipping some of the treat offerings.
Yeah.
It was a ton of candy.
There was times where it's like we were filming or whatever, and we're just like walking through and we're trying to sort bags and what have you. But that was not with that. We did not repeat any treat trails.
Which we could have very easily.
Very easily. We didn't we weren't like really trying to get as much candy as we could. This was just super casually, like,
which we never do. Like, there's people we know that probably could have gotten double that. Like,
oh yeah,
if there was 2 people, they probably could have gotten 20 pounds of candy easily.
And
so Caleb, you were closest, so you win. Hat tip.
Once we measured it, which was quite the process, because I did not believe it was 9 pounds. Once we measured it, I was like, wow, that's why my arm hurt.
It was a lot. It was quite a bit of candy. We've got most of our videos up from Oogie Boogie Bash and some of the other stuff that we did this week, so make sure to check them out on our YouTube channel so you don't miss any of them. We're running out of time, so what should people do, Kitty?
Just go to dapsmagic.com, check out all the Disney and geek news as it happens. Subscribe to our mailing list, and from our mailing list, find our Patreon. Our Patreon's a whole lot of fun. We had a whole discussion today about penguin ghosts and what to do with them. So if you want to be a part of conversations like that, find our Patreon on the website as well.
And make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss any of the videos that we have coming up, which are a lot. We got a lot of fun, exciting things coming, and you don't want to miss any of them. Please also share it with people if you like what you're seeing, because that helps us get out as well, because we are getting close to that 100,000 subscriber mark. And how cool would that be if we hit that before the end of the year? And you could see that plaque just hanging right here on the wall. Oh, wait, we don't have a wall. Anyway, that's the goal. We're going to hit it.
The goal is to get a wall.
We're going to hit it. We're going to do it together. Yeah, the goal is to get a wall, not the plaque. Anyway, we good? We're good. That is all the time we have for you this week. We will see you around the corner.
Bye.